Guys, we've got a $60 million gap to fill. The room murmured for a moment, then someone shouted, "Jim, it's actually $130 million. That's a bad start. We just went backwards." Jim Milstein sighed. This was about to get harder. Milstein could be forgiven his frustration. This meeting should have been wholly unnecessary. For a generation, Milstein had been one of the top advisors in the world of corporate bankruptcies, first as a lawyer and later as an investment banker. Just a few years earlier, he had served in the Obama administration as the inaugural Chief Restructuring Officer of the United States. But now, on September 23, 2016, Milstein was 5 years removed from his stint as a Washington insider. He had set up his own firm, Milstein & Company, to capitalize on his sterling reputation and experience. However, he had not fully appreciated just how nasty the restructuring world had become in his absence. After having the power of the U.S. Treasury Department behind him for the better part of 2 years, he now found himself being mistreated by ex-Ivy League jocks almost half his age. That morning, he was surrounded by a group of scowling hedge fund managers and their advisors in the offices of the Kirkland & Ellis law firm high atop New York City. Kirkland had a famously impressive setup for such high-stakes meetings. Entire floors in the Citigroup Center in Midtown Manhattan consisted of conference room after conference room, where white marble hallways lined by floor-to-ceiling wood panels gave way to larger open spaces and sprawling views of the city. Milstein was trying to, once and for all, solve the restructuring of Caesars Entertainment, whose twists and turns had riveted Wall Street. The knockdown, drag-out affair was finally at its endgame. The fighting that had begun more than 8 years ago after an ill-timed $28 billion leveraged buyout of the storied gaming company was mercifully being put to rest, along with Milstein's nightmare. The brightest financial minds in the world just had to find an extra $130 million to bridge the gap between what was being offered and what was asked. These investors merely had to pledge back pennies on the dollar to clinch this deal. "If everyone chips in, the bank debt and senior bonds are good to do the same," Dave Miller said, speaking on behalf of himself and Ryan Mollett. Miller and Mollett, while only in their mid-30s, had already established themselves as superstar distressed debt investors. Miller was with the feared hedge fund founded by Paul Singer Elliott Management. Ryan Mollett worked at GSO, an affiliate of the juggernaut investment firm Blackstone. Collectively, the pair represented dozens of Caesars creditors holding $12 billion of Caesars debt. The two had been bitter adversaries early in the case, but had long since made peace. "Gavin, I need $6 million from your group," Milstein demanded from Gavin Byera, an executive at hedge fund Angelo Gordon, as politely as one can for such a sum.